There's a habit that costs 20 bucks a week and quietly turns into more than $200,000. Not a scam, not crypto, not some course in the description, just $20 a week, less than one delivery order, and a thing your brain is physically wired to get wrong. I know how that sounds, so I'm going to show you the actual math, and then I'm going to show you the real reason almost nobody does it, because it's not about the money. Let's get into it. Okay, here's the whole thing in one sentence. You take $20 a week, you put it into a boring, spread out investment that basically just tracks the whole stock market, and then, this is the hard part, you don't touch it. 20 a week. That's about $1,000 a year. Leave that alone long enough, and it grows into a number with way more zeros than makes any sense. And here's the part that breaks people's brains the first time they see it. Add up every single $20 bill you'd ever put in for 40 years straight, and it comes out to about $42,000 total. Out of your pocket, that's the whole cost. 42 grand spread across your entire adult life. But you don't end up with 42,000. You end up with something like 5 times that. So where does the other 200 grand come from? You didn't earn it at a job. You didn't work a single extra hour for it. It basically shows up while you're asleep. And I'm going to show you exactly where it comes from. But first, I need to deal with the voice in your head that's already calling this fake. Because honestly, you should be skeptical. Let's just say the quiet part out loud. $20 is nothing, and you've heard a worse version of this pitch 1,000 times. Skip your coffee, stop buying takeout, and boom, you'll be a millionaire. It's the most annoying advice on the internet, because it's usually some guy blaming you for being broke while completely ignoring that your rent ate your whole paycheck. So let me be straight with you. The skeptic in your head is right about one thing. $20 by itself does basically nothing. Watch. Take that same 20 a week and just throw it in a jar in your closet. 40 years later, you crack it open. You've got that same $42,000. No magic. And here's the sad part. That cash has actually been quietly losing value the whole time because of inflation. Stuff got more expensive while your money just sat there. So if saving were the trick, the jar would work. It doesn't. So the skeptic is right. Saving 20 bucks does almost nothing. Here's what they're missing, and it's the entire point of this video. The saving was never the magic. The magic is what the money does when you stop touching it. That's the part nobody actually explains. So let me explain it. Quick experiment. Picture $1. You invest it, and over a year, it earns you, let's say, 7 cents. Cool. Boring. Nothing to write home about. But here's the twist. Next year, you're not earning 7 cents on your original dollar anymore. You're earning it on $1.07. And the year after that, on even more. Your earnings start earning their own earnings. The money your money made goes back to work and makes even more money. That's it. That's the whole idea. It's called compounding. And I know that word sounds like a nap, so let me make it not boring. It's a snowball. A tiny snowball at the top of a massive hill. For the first few feet, it barely picks up anything. It's honestly pathetic. You'd swear it's broken, but every roll makes it a little bigger, and every time it's bigger, it grabs even more snow. Until near the bottom, it's this giant boulder moving on its own. Your money does the exact same thing. Slow, tiny, pointless looking at the start, and unstoppable at the end. But here's the problem. That snowball grows in a curve, and human brains are genuinely terrible at curves. Let me prove it with a classic riddle. There's a lily pad on a pond, and it doubles in size every single day. On day 30, it covers the entire pond. Quick, no math. What day was the pond exactly half covered? Most people's gut says day 15. Halfway through, right? Wrong. It's day 29, the day before. On day 29, the pond is half empty, and then one more double, and it's completely full. That's how violently a curve moves at the very end, and how badly our brains miss it coming. Because we think in straight lines. If something grows a little this year, we just assume it grows about the same next year. So when you picture 20 bucks a week for 40 years, your brain quietly does straight line math and lands on some sad little number way too low. You're not bad at math. Everyone does this. It's so common it has an official name. It's called exponential growth bias. We reliably guess way too low whenever something compounds because a curve that stays flat forever and then explodes is just not something we can feel in our gut. So let me hit you with the actual numbers, year by year, and quick honesty note. I'm running all of this at about 7% a year. That's a deliberately conservative take on what the stock market has historically averaged over the long run. The number people usually throw around is higher, closer to 10%, but I'd rather lowball it than sell you a fantasy. Year 1, you've got about $1,000. Basically, just what you put in. Year 5, maybe $6,000. Barely more than your own money. Feels slow, right? Almost pointless. Year 10, you're around $15,000. Still feels underwhelming, but watch what happens. Year 20, you're over $40,000. Year 30, you're pushing $100,000. Year 40, over $200,000. Now here's the part I need you to actually see. Look at the gaps between those numbers. From year 30 to year 40, that's just one decade. The pile jumps by more than $100,000. That single last decade adds more money than the first 30 years combined. Same $20 a week the entire time. You didn't put in more. The curve just finally went vertical. And remember, only about 42,000 of that final number was ever your actual money. Everything else, all that other cash, is the snowball. It's the money your money made while you did literally nothing. Real talk for a second, because I'm not going to lie to you. The market does not go up in a clean straight line. Some years it drops, hard, and it feels genuinely awful watching your number go red. That 7% is an average smoothed out over decades. It is not a promise for any single year, but zoom out far enough, and historically, the curve has won, and that curve has one ingredient that matters way more than how much money you put in. It's the one thing you can never buy back. The thing that actually runs this entire machine isn't the amount, it's time. And this next example is the one that makes people genuinely mad the first time they see it. Two people. Person A starts investing at 22, puts in that $1,000 a year, about 20 a week. And then, get this, they completely stop at 32. 10 years in, they never add another single dollar. Total out of their pocket, around 10 grand. Person B waits. Starts at 32 and then grinds it out. $1,000 a year, every single year, all the way to 62. 30 years straight. That's 3 times more money going in than person A. So who ends up with more money at the end? It's person A. The one who put in a third of the money and quit in their early 30s. They win. Read that back. Starting 10 years earlier beat putting in 3 times as much money because person A's early dollars had an extra decade to sit on that snowball and roll. And nothing person B does later can ever fully catch up. That's not a money problem. That's a time problem. Which brings us to the question that actually matters. If this is real, and the math is just math, why is almost nobody doing it? 3 reasons, and once you see them, you can beat them. Reason 1, the big one. The snowball starts pathetic. Go back to that flat part of the curve. For the first few years, you're putting in real money. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 of your own dollars. And it barely moves. You check the app, and it's up like $11. It feels like a joke, like you're feeding money into a hole for nothing. So people quit. And here's the brutal irony. That flat, boring, useless-looking phase is exactly the part you have to survive to ever reach the good part. People bail right before the curve turns, because that's the exact moment it looks the most pointless. The entire game is just not flinching during the boring stretch. Reason 2, we wait. Everybody tells themselves the same comforting lie. I'll start investing when I actually have money, when I'm making more, when $20 isn't all I can spare. It sounds responsible. It is the single most expensive mistake in this entire video, because we literally just proved it with person A. The dollars you put in earliest are worth the most, by a landslide. So waiting until you can invest some bigger, more serious amount is really just you throwing away your most powerful dollars to protect your ego. $20 today beats $200 10 years from now. Small and early destroys big and late. Every time. Reason 3, and this one's almost funny, there's nothing to show for it. You can't post it. There's no unboxing, no fit pic, no little dopamine hit. You set it up, and then the winning move is to do absolutely nothing for a decade. Meanwhile, the entire world is built to give you a tiny buzz every time you spend. The ping. the package on the porch, the your order is on the way. Investing gives you none of that. The reward is completely real. It's just decades away and totally invisible today. So every single day, it loses to the thing in your hand that lights up right now. Nobody quits investing in some dramatic moment. They just never feel it working and slowly drift back to the ping. So let's tie it all together. The 20 bucks was never the magic. The jar of cash proved that. The magic is compounding. The snowball your money builds when you leave it completely alone. And the one thing that decides how huge that snowball gets isn't the size of your paycheck. It's how early you start the clock. The whole thing rewards one boring, unglamorous move, starting small, starting now, and then being patient enough to look away for a very long time. That's it. That's the secret nobody makes exciting because there's nothing to sell you. Here's the one line I want stuck in your head. The most expensive sentence in personal finance is, "I'll start when I have more." The clock is the only part you actually control, not next year, today. If this finally made the whole compounding thing actually click for you, do me one favor and drop a number in the comments. If you started this week, what's your number? 20 a week? 50? Whatever you've honestly got. Saying it out loud makes it real, and I read every single one. And if you want more of the money stuff school somehow never taught us, you already know what to do. See you in the next one.